Ty, thank you. Well, it's finally Super Bowl weekend, and we're just 43 hours from kickoff between the Niners and the Chiefs. From downtown Miami to Hard Rock Stadium and everywhere in between, South Florida is overflowing with visitors right now. They're here to sample everything we get to enjoy year-round.
Check out the view tonight from Frost Science. The AAA hosting the Super Bowl Music Festival tonight with Guns N' Roses. Maroon 5 headlines tomorrow. And you might have been asking this week, why does Miami even want to go to all the trouble of hosting the Super Bowl, considering it's already the peak of tourist season?
Well, the answer lies in money. One word, money. CBS 4's Hank Testers at Hard Rock Stadium to explain.
This is what a potential $500 million Super Bowl economic impact looks like. Restaurants full, sky-high hotel rates, airports jammed. The economic impact number, never a hard number and often controversial about, well, who sees the money and who doesn't. But one thing for sure, media exposure for the South Florida tourism industry is priceless.
Remember, it's warm here and it's cold everywhere else, so it's going to break the records.
Visitors Bureau Chief Bill Talbert knows the deal. He's standing right in the middle of tourism industry's premier calling card in South Beach and Ocean Drive.
Everybody will hear the debate. Is it 500 million, 400 million, 300? I don't engage in any of that discussion. That's way past my pay grade. It's this media coverage that we get for an entire week that is priceless.
Pictures of folks having fun, in the sun, beamed all over the world, and to compare, listen to what a 30-second TV spot cost during the Super Bowl.
A 30-second spot is $5.5 million.
The only issue of concern, the weather. They're hoping for a Sunday Super Bowl Chamber of Commerce day. I'm Hank Tester, CBS 4 News at 11. Back to you.
We are in this year's Tide Super Bowl commercial.
The Super Bowl is almost upon us when 100 million plus viewers feast on $500 million worth of ads, vying to get brands into brains.
Get him!
Grandpa, what's going on?
Pringles! We're trapped in a Pringles commercial. They must have taken us in our sleep.
How can we get out?
We can't, Summer. They warned me this would happen and I didn't listen.
Here's Mountain Dew Zero.
I am thirsty.
But there is, of course, also football.
Thank you. Unfortunately, tomorrow's weather is not looking great for the final day of Super Bowl Live in downtown Miami. Tonight's festivities also cut short. CBS 4's Amber Diaz has more from Bayfront Park.
Football fans are expected to eat 8 million pounds of guacamole on Super Bowl Sunday. That's according to kidsworld.com.
Or salsa.
Along with it, over 14,000 chips will be devoured during the game. That's no surprise to workers of the guacamole experience at Super Bowl Live Fan Fest.
If you like it spicy, we got some spicy in there, whatever you're looking for.
But in Miami, it's not all chips and dip. We do things a bit different. Our menu includes paella, a dish mixed with seafood and rice. And then there's Rick Smith, an Indianapolis native tied to the Colts and the Kansas City Chiefs. My photographer Claudia threw a few jabs at the man who traveled far and had a craving for pizza.
You come all the way from Indianapolis, you said. And what are you eating? Pizza?
Really? You know you're a little close right now. A little close.
So stomachs full, can't lose. Super Bowl 54 expected to bring the masses to the city of Miami, all hungry to win and to eat.
And both the San Francisco 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs will be hosting a pep rally of their own tomorrow. That event, of course, is free. It goes from 1 to 2 in the afternoon. At Bayfront Park, Amber Diaz, CBS 4 News Tonight.
Kansas City's entertainment districts are gearing up for Red Friday and, of course, Super Bowl Sunday.
Our Leslie Aguilar spent the day looking into security protocols. So, Leslie, what's being done to keep crowds safe?
Well, there's going to be a lot of law enforcement working on Sunday night, way more than any regular Sunday. They're going to be focused in places like Westport and right here in the P&L district, and they say they're ready for just about anything. The Power and Light District is preparing for a party of a lifetime. They expect about 10,000 people inside the KC Live block alone.
We've got the confetti, we've got all the stuff that you would see at a regular Chiefs game at Arrowhead.
Director of Entertainment Jason Bradley is busy preparing, adding extra screens, including a big one on Grant Street, extra lights, extra audio equipment, and
Obviously, with this event, we'll be doing additional security. Since we're putting an additional screen out on Grand, we'll bring in more off-duty PD, and we've got a pretty robust security team.
You can also expect more on-duty officers.
We have dozens, if not over 100 additional officers that'll be working Sunday night.
Kansas City police have extra people working in every division, focused on Westport, the Plaza, and of course P&L. They'll even have a special DUI squad working traffic.
Make that plan beforehand. Don't make that plan in the fourth quarter of the game when there's emotions on the line. Make that plan beforehand. Take a ride service, get somebody, a friend that's going to stay sober, taxi cab. Make those arrangements all ahead of time.
Police and P&L organizers say they're not expecting anything they can't handle. The city is no stranger to huge sports celebrations, and that's what they hope Sunday night is, a celebration for a Chiefs Super Bowl win. Now on Super Bowl Sunday, Grand Street will be shut down from 13th to Truman Road. You can expect metal detectors out here as well. They're going to start letting folks in around noon. Now, police want to discourage people from celebratory gunfire, and they also want to remind everybody that fireworks are illegal inside city limits. Now, what if we do win? We're going to want to know about that celebration parade, and that's what our Casey Jones is talking about coming up at 6 o'clock. For now, reporting live from P&L, Leslie Aguilar, KCTV5 News.
Some of the 49er faithful are on their way to Florida right now. KPI's 5 Jackie Ward caught up with them ahead of their Super Bowl trips.
It was not hard to find 49er faithful decked out in their red and gold this morning. They were hopping on flights to either Fort Lauderdale or Miami for the Super Bowl. Lit up in red and gold, SFO is ready to send Niner fans off in style.
You guys ready? Where my Niners at?
Best friends Jamie Belandra and Antonio Arvello, better known as the Niner Hot Boys, were all decked out for their flight to Miami. They bought their plane tickets 6 weeks ago. Talk about faithful.
I said, wow, if we book the flights now, they're really cheap. He's all, what are we going to do? I said, we're going to listen to Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer, the whole time.
Now we're going. Now we're going. Let's go, Niner gang. Let's go.
Touchdown, Depot in the slot. This is my end zone. Give me everything you got.
You may remember them from earlier this week when we caught them shooting a music video in front of San Francisco City Hall.
Bang, bang, Niner gang!
Even the Southwest crew was showing off their team pride. But Erin Keeley is the lucky one. She's been a season ticket holder ever since the Niners moved into Levi Stadium.
I really couldn't believe it. It sounded like I had a chance to go to the Super Bowl, but it wasn't real clear to me. I sent it to my daughter. She looked it up. She said, Mom, I think this is real.
She won a pair of Super Bowl tickets back on December 31st through a designated driver program called Team Coalition. But she would only get the tickets if the 49ers made it.
They won more games this year than they had in the past 3 years altogether. And they have a really special team this year, and I think great coaches. So I'm hoping they'll come back with a win.
Erin's tickets are valued at $1,400 each, a bargain compared to the average ticket price. StubHub is breaking down which fans are buying the most tickets to the game this year. California fans have purchased about 21% of seats, followed by Missouri and Kansas fans at 19%. The average fan is traveling about 1,500 miles to get to Hard Rock Stadium. And fans are willing to shell out a pretty penny just to walk in the door at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. It will cost about $6,400 per ticket. From SFO, Jackie Ward, KPIX 5.
This year, StubHub is allowing people to pay for their Super Bowl tickets in installments to allow people to pay for them over time as opposed to upfront. We have you covered leading up to the Super Bowl. Then on Sunday night, join us for a post-game special. It starts at 7 o'clock. 60 Minutes will air on our sister station, KBCW.
Yeah, where is the heart of 49ers country these days? It's a tough question to answer. And so communities 75 miles north and south of the stadium here in Santa Clara are getting ready for a Super Bowl win on Sunday and for the celebrations and for the potential problems that could follow in its aftermath. Where will celebrating 49ers fans go Sunday night? Will the stadium in Santa Clara become a rallying point? Or will fans head to more traditional hotspots in the city?
We really don't have enough data. This is really, the furthest the 49ers have gotten since they've moved to Levi Stadium. Because the team's fan base is spread out across a large swath of Northern California, police departments from Gilroy to Santa Clara to San Francisco are getting ready to respond to any bad behavior that pops up amidst the post-game celebrations.
We had
a number of spontaneous sideshows around the city. We had some individuals that elected to take celebration past having fun and started vandalizing properties.
Bars and restaurants across the Bay Area will be holding watch parties Sunday, including one of the largest at SP2 in San Jose, where more than 600 people are expected to show up.
We've instructed all of our staff and our bartenders to give safe and responsible alcohol service. We've told security to keep a vigilant eye out for anyone who looks over-intoxicated or who might be getting a little too rowdy.
Right now, there is not a coordinated regional plan by law enforcement to respond to problems in the event of a Super Bowl win or loss. I'm not aware of a formalized regional plan in place.
Does that concern you?
No, it doesn't concern me. This is really a different type of situation.
I think this fan base has been waiting for so long. I think there'll be a fun, happy, energy to it, and I don't think it'll get nasty at all.
And I think that's what everybody is hoping, that the celebrations are fun and positive and problem-free. And so far, police say that if they're not, they feel ready to respond. In Santa Clara, Devin Feely, KPIX5.
No doubt some of that will depend on the score at the end of that game. Devin live from Levi Stadium. Thank you, Devin.
All new at 11 with Super Bowl weekend here. South Florida's airports are dealing with an extra crush of visitors. Many are using a rideshare app to get picked up.
Yet the system at MIA has taken heat for being confusing and chaotic. As CBS 4's Ted Scouten reports, the airport knows it and is now working on some changes.
Hailing an Uber or Lyft from Miami International Airport can be confusing.
It is kind of chaotic. Everybody's trying to get home or where they're going on a cruise or to the hotel. And then cars are coming here. I guess locals picking up, plus the Uber and Lyft. So it is confusing.
With Super Bowl just days away, 30,000 more passengers are expected to fly into Miami this weekend alone, adding to the 70,000 who already come in and out of the airport daily. Until recently, it was difficult for passengers to see the signs to figure out where their rideshare would pick them up, especially at the busy North Terminal.
Okay, we're ready for us.
I guess it's supposed to be over there, but sometimes they pick over here.
Oh, I didn't know that. They always pick me up from here. So it is a little bit confusing. So I have to go there?
Now you see the signs that says ride app pickup.
Just before Christmas, realizing there was confusion, the airport put up better signage showing exactly where passengers can catch their ride.
The sign from there says to come here for the app pickup, rideshare app pickup.
Seems simple. Did you find it confusing to try and figure out where to go to get the rideshare?
I thought it was pretty easy, but I'm used to doing it at O'Hare, so it's pretty much the same. And I just texted my driver and told him where we were.
Jackie Wentz was in the right spot, but what we found, many times it's the drivers who are confused.
So we're at the side where the Lyft is supposed to be picking up, but it looks like, as you suggested, that he's in the other lane.
Here's how it's supposed to work at the North Terminal. The first lane is for cabs. The second is for family and friends who are picking up passengers. The third lane is for rideshare apps. And the last is for hotel shuttles.
We're working on that messaging of getting ride app pickups to go to that designated area. It's still a work in progress, and we're trying to be flexible with the ride app drivers to position them in the right place.
In some cases, drivers are not only picking up passengers in the wrong lane, but even stopping in traffic to load suitcases and people. You're kind of in traffic over there.
Yes, and dangerous, I think, for everybody.
At Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport, rideshare pickup is in designated areas away from other airport traffic. MIA can't use that system because of space constraints. So the push is to improve the process of getting passengers and drivers to the same meeting spot, which airport officials admit could take some time.
And I think the drivers will catch on when they see that the passengers are in one location and sometimes they're in another lane and they're not connecting with those passengers, and that's impacting their business and their operations.
These signs have been up for just over a month. Airport officials say they're monitoring them very closely, keeping an eye on them to see if it gets passengers and drivers together more efficiently. If not, they said they're ready to make some tweaks or add new signs if they have to. At Miami International Airport, Ted Scouten, CBS 4 News Tonight.
And Miami International Airport just announced it's relocating the rideshare drop-off location for the day after the Super Bowl only. Passengers will now be dropped off at the rental car center and then take the people mover. And this is an attempt to streamline the departure process on Monday, when MIA expects to set a single-day record.
With Nathan Vickers, who is live tonight at Fan Fest in Miami. Nathan.
Well, there's fans around here, there's radio broadcasters, everyone and their dog is here in Kansas City today. We've been following them from the airport to the fan experience through the day. Here's some of what we saw and heard over the course of the day.
We taking it home.
Didn't get much sleep last night. Been anticipating this for my whole life.
We've come to represent and we're taking it home and we're making a statement. Ain't the town red like my sparkly shoes?
Welcome to Miami. So it's kind of like a bucket list thing to be here. One, to be here at the Super Bowl, and then two, to be here with my 9-year-old son to share that. It's all about the experience, and it's something we'll talk about probably weekly for the rest of our lives.
MVP Pat up in here. It's just amazing that we can all just come down here and experience this all together. I wasn't alive the last time they were in the Super Bowl, so this is amazing.
Miami is going to be off the chain. Kansas City, people are going hard in the paint. We are here to party. We are here to go see some football. And everybody with me in here? Yeah. There it is.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, there's a lot of fans that came down here without even buying a ticket, but at this point, they might be out of luck. The cheap seats are still going for around $5,000. Reporting live in Miami, Nathan Vickers, KCTV 5 News.
Thanks, Nathan. She was right about that. Miami is off the chain officially.
Yeah. As Sarah Levitt tells us, this Sunday is special to Kansas City fans for lots of reasons. Their team hasn't made it this far in 50 years, and there's going to be a Canadian on the gridiron, unlike any player in Super Bowl history.
By all appearances, he's your typical NFL offensive guard. Big and strong. But for number 76, Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, brawn comes with a big brain. In between practices and games, the Quebecer managed to become a doctor. Sunday, another milestone. He'll be the first doctor to play in a Super Bowl. With that distinction comes media attention and unexpected questions at football press conferences.
Are we really going to talk about that?
It's probably one of the most interesting person I know.
Charles-Alexandre Lacroix will be watching from the stands in Miami on Sunday.
Salut.
He met Duvernay-Tardif in med school and even brought him in for a shift in the ER.
He was able to go through med school. He's able to perform at the highest level of sports, and yet he's very down to earth.
In between football and medicine, Duvernay-Tardif also finds time for his foundation, encouraging kids to play sports. He did a stint as a sports reporter, and he can bake. Duvernay-Tardif spent his teens working in bakeries owned by his parents. For the team here, his accomplishments are a source of pride.
He's doing great at the sport that he loves, and he's doing great and his career. So, I mean, who else can do say oh, hi, I'm a doctor from McGill and I'm playing the Super Bowl.
But the league faces concerns about concussions and evidence the sport could lead to brain degeneration. How does a doctor square playing football with that?
At the end of the day, you got to look at the big picture, and people who do team sport, people who are active, people who play football are usually, I think, better leader, better human, that are more balanced.
His next goal, bringing home that Super Bowl ring. Sarah Levitt, CBC News, Montreal.
Another first at the Super Bowl, Katie Sowers will be the first woman to coach a team in the game.
I know that other women, other young girls are watching this, and maybe their path seems a little clearer now.
The 49ers offensive assistant will also be the first openly gay coach for a Super Bowl team. She calls it all surreal and also a step forward towards her next goal of becoming an NFL head coach. The Super Bowl has always been about more than taking home that ring. Controversy surrounded last year's halftime show as artists showed support for Colin Kaepernick, that player whose NFL career ended after demonstrating against racial injustice. Zuleka Nathu shows us how this year the NFL has managed to keep its halftime show from becoming a political football.
Ready?
Shakira and Jennifer Lopez are hoping to keep football viewers tuned in with their halftime performance in Miami. It's the first time two Latinas will take the high-profile stage.
It's packed with a lot of awesome moments.
First day of rehearsal.
As they tease their rehearsals on social media, the reaction is far from the controversy of 2019.
Last year, both superstar Rihanna and rapper Cardi B said they wouldn't perform at the Super Bowl halftime show, citing Colin Kaepernick as the reason.
They did some stretching.
The football quarterback hasn't played for 3 seasons after taking a knee during the U.S. national anthem. He was protesting racial inequality in the U.S. and police shootings against unarmed African Americans. Maroon 5 faced a lot of heat for taking the halftime gig. The rock band got less than stellar reviews afterwards.
Thank you.
So when the NFL recently partnered with Jay-Z's entertainment agency Rock Nation, some called the rap artist a sellout. But these high school football players say the NFL is taking steps in the right direction.
They're trying, you know, like at least put some effort into it, which they are doing, which like a lot of people will like. I know I like it.
Thank you.
Rock Nation is now giving direction on the Football League's halftime show, including its selection of Lopez and Shakira.
There's no doubt that the NFL is using some very smart diversity moves.
Ronaldo Walcott specializes in black pop culture and politics at the University of Toronto.
It's really about bridging that gap with the law enforcement.
In addition to the halftime artists, Walcott says the NFL's nonprofit Inspired Change program is also trying to win over communities who might have felt slighted in the past.
Corey broke down on the side of the road and a plainclothes police officer pulled up.
This year, the campaign is focusing on police shootings and racial inequality.
All you hear from there is 3 shots.
The same issues that propelled Kaepernick to take a knee.
I think that they have to find a way to bring him back if any of these moves, like Inspires Change, is going to have any real credibility, especially among black communities.
While J-Lo and Shakira prepare for the big event, the NFL will use Super Bowl Sunday to further showcase its new image. A version of their Inspire Change campaign video will air on TV before the Kansas City Chiefs take on the San Francisco 49ers, Kaepernick's old team. Zuleika Nathu, CBC News, Los Angeles.